welcome again to the Art of F.A. Chekki. This is going to be episode 4. And yeah, I got a lighter in my hand. That's because I'll show you here in a second what we do before we paint. Without further ado, we're going to light the Bob Ross candle, which is the ritual on the show. And just kind of show you where we're at with the progress here a little bit. I'm still on this Seaside Citadel paint. I might even name it Seaside Citadel. But at any rate, that's my clutch word. If you hear me say, or words, clutch words. If you hear me say that, you know, just get used to it, because I'm probably going to say it more than once. So here's my little shrine that we have going on. I don't know if you see it right here. Next to a book I made. Might as well plug that. I'm going to light the candle. There it goes. And I feel ready now, you know? I feel ready. I'm burning it. Look, oh my God, I'm burning the book. No, not burning the book. Last videos you saw were little intermission videos. I thought those were interesting. I heard the piano pop. Little intermission videos. My daughter's here. Just got her this weekend, and my older son, he's around the house, you know, doing whatever, teenage stuff, having a dance-off outside with the neighbor kids, who knows. Probably watching stuff on his phone all day, doing nothing. But my daughter might walk in here any moment now. She's probably going to want to paint with me. So I just want to get this quick little video intro. You always see the little intro to the intro coming up, or prior to this. And so coming up, we're going to get into a lot of touch-up perhaps, but I'm going to do the lighthouse in this video and talk about this cobblestone road that you see here and show you a little bit of technique and talk about painting. We're going to have some fun. And, you know, my daughter might come in here. We'll see. I said in episodes before, there'll be kids, my kids. I did little videos, one of each of them. One Matthew with his Beyblades, Callie with her cooking the St. Patrick's Day dinner. She helped me cook today, too, in the crock pot. So, you know, we'll see if we can get her in here. It depends if she's tired. She had a sleepover last night. If you saw my How to Make a Perfect Cup of Coffee video before this one, the girls were having a good time having their sleepover. Dad doing his duty to entertain and keep the peace, keep them happy. So I'm gonna end this here because we're about 3 minutes in. We're gonna go about maybe 18 to 20 minutes painting. I try to keep these as close to a Bob Ross episode, which is about, you know, just under 30 minutes with if you add in all the other stuff. So again, we're gonna work on the lighthouse. You're gonna see here. And you might see Callie come in and paint too. I got one canvas for her. She's ready to go if she wants to. And you might hear the dogs. All good. Hopefully they don't bust in here and eat my paint. And we are rolling. Okay, you can kind of see where I darken in the light tower back there. It's just kind of silhouetted right now. I did work on that chapel some. I'm not 100% satisfied with it. It's kind of blotchy here and there. And that's sort of the process as the oils begin to dry and set in. You can kind of see a little bit more progress here in the video since our last episode. I talk about the cobblestone brick road. Been posting a lot on Instagram and also posting on Facebook, my art page. This perspective is very challenging. But then again, I said I wanted a challenging piece, which is exactly what I picked here. And I just wanted you to get a good look here and at that road. Ooh, look at that. And there's a shop. You can kind of see in there my awful camera skills here. But here's kind of the area I will be honing in on and positioning everything for that. Okay, so if I get kind of an awkward angle here, forgive that, but I want it to at least be as true to where I am on the canvas, and it's going to be a little bit wonky in terms of the angle when you see it, like obviously looking at the painting from a different angle. you know, you're going to see it a bit different in terms of how it looks, because cameras do distort to some extent, as I've learned, when you turn them at angles and so on. A lot of photography, a lot of filming, painting too. But here we are about 2 minutes, so let's just get started painting. Okay, so I just want to make sure everything look good. This palette right here, you can kind of see my dirt, no, my beauty. Wow, look at that, kind of a nice shot. Anyway, I got another palette here too, just kind of mix on a mixing palette. Lots of brushes out here. When you're doing detail painting down to the nitty gritty detail, we talk about brushes, lots of them in my cup here. I did have to use a little more acrylic application on that church, because I went over it twice. Actually, it was more of a chapel. I went over it once, twice. I was like, it's not feeling right. Even the little loading dock there, with that little building down there, doesn't feel quite right to me either. I'll work on it. It's okay. No big deal. No biggie. We're just gonna go right into this. Sorry about all my little, you know, annoying accents that I do, but that's what I do. I don't even know why I'm apologizing to it. You probably don't even care that you're getting mad at me. Sorry, you know, I'm not trying to pick on anyone in particular. I can do the really proper accent too. Kind of neutral here. I don't know if I'm in any state whatsoever. I'm actually from Colorado originally. Nobody has an accent there. I guess some people sound a little Western or whatever. But we're gonna get into some brown here, and the color in particular is a raw umber. Umber. Did he say raw? Okay, so now I got some raw umber here. I'm just gonna start working that in here. You can see that. You can see the lighthouse there. I'm gonna start working this raw umber on here, keeping in mind that as we get closer to the edge, I want to keep it lighter because that's where the light is penetrating over the left. That's why that chapel's kind of bright, because we've got a lot of light going on it. And so I like how raw umber looks for this particular lighthouse scene, the lighthouse part of the scene, because some stones, like if it was built from a nearby quarry, we want to match kind of the cobblestone, which, you know, is wet. We can't quite tell what it looks like for sure, but we want to keep in mind when we're depicting a feeling of place, both time and setting, are we staying true to the environment which we think everything is happening in? A little bit of well, that would be cadmium yellow, putting a little bit of cadmium yellow into there too to brighten it up right there. And we're gonna need a little bit more of that down there. And when you're doing a cylindrical thing, okay, some of you are artists, you already know, you're like, Frank, just shut up. F.A, Frank, that's my first name, it's okay? For you to don't know me. But anyway, F.A is my pen name, and it's all good. I thought I'd reveal that, the big reveal of tonight. It's night here, it's evening, it's probably 6 o'clock, I think. I got this nice color here too. It's called a Venetian red, and I love mixing it with a little white and Venetian red. Now, that's going to come in here on the edge some, and I think that's a little bit too bright, and it's going to be grayed down a bit, but the Venetian red creates a nice, like, if there was some type of sandstone on here that is similar in tone, I suppose, to some of these cobblestones in there that I like to think of the brick road down there, if you can see some of it, as like a kind of an amalgam of rocks. What's that mean? Well, you know, they didn't always have the same exact rocks, okay? So give me a break. They had to mix in what they could get. And it's years and years and years of renovation on these things. I'm thinking this thing's an old medieval city that has been occupied for many years. Very European. You can tell it has like a European more than an American or Russian port setting feeling to it. Okay, we're talking about cylinders. They tend to have a beam down the center a lot. You have to vary the tone as you go around it. And this has some type of, I don't know, in the middle, maybe it was a design of the engineer saying, hey, we need something to hold these two cylinders together as we build the brick up or whatever. It's made out of the stones. And it's been painted over and probably has a little bit of paint from over the years that's worn off. But we need to make sure we're keeping lines in check. Got a nice little brush here too. These two brushes, people always go, what type of brush is that? No, what type of brush is that, son? I wish I could tell you which one of this, but this is a real small little filbert brush, I guess. Real tiny. And then this one here, real tiny. Michaels has all these, okay? Real small. Doop. Okay, so you just, I don't know. I just go pick up a bazillion. I know not everybody can afford to do that, but I pick up as many different types of brushes on the market as I can get my hands on, because I like to experiment with everything I can. And I do that because I do that because it allows me to, I think, improve my skill in art. I think I hear my daughter coming. It allows me to improve my skill in art to utilize various brush strokes that can only be varied if isn't that nice? If you use different brushes, okay? Just do what feels right on the canvas. I don't know if you saw my shirt earlier on the camera. I'll maybe show you at the end, but I got this Bob Ross and Painting the Golden Girls shirt. If you look at the video before this, did these together back to back. I wanted to keep this shirt on for this video. Just kind of I love this shirt. My wife got it for me, and just such a fun shirt. It's two like the coolest, most like memorable things from when I was homesick as a kid, you know? I don't know what you guys did when you're homesick. A lot of you slept, I'm sure. As did I. But you only slept for so long, and then you're like, I'm awake, I'm a kid. Sleep in. Now I'm feeling better with my cold. Maybe I was just plain sick. Plain sick, Mom? Oh, you must be sick, son. No, I just want to stay home and watch Bob Ross. Okay, so what I did here, so watch Golden Girls, Bob Ross, is put in some tones here that I really thought worked well with this, and you're gonna see some illumination or lighting come in even more so as I put in this pinkish, nice pinkish color with some white in it with the Venetian red. So we're gonna do some more of that in here, but we need to maintain these shadows underneath this. I guess you'd call it some weird walkway on here. But I'm putting in even more light and keeping in some shadows where the light would hit less, which would be on the left of the lighthouse. You know? I hear my daughter like rummaging around. It's bath night too, so After I'm done here, I'm gonna have to. Sometimes when you tap the brush too, instead of just doing these little strokes up and down. So little strokes like this can make little lines and blend, or a tap to get more paint off the brush. It all just depends what you're doing and how you need to do it, you know, to get the effect that you want. But here, like I said, we're dealing with a cylindrical object. Got to have some light on the inside, I guess, as lighter, and then it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter towards the middle. But we're going to have a little right side instead of center sheen. Sheen, not Charlie Sheen, Sheen. Sheen. I would probably put it center to right in here and blend that in. Okay, and the reason being is the light's going to be closer to the right. So I'm going to have this sheen closer to right too. This reflection of various light. Some of it could be coming off the water. It just depends where the reflection because one thing, this water's not done. It is going to be some bright little mini. It's because it's an inlet. Okay, it's not going to be super bright. Okay, but it's going to be pretty bright with the sun being down here somewhere, off to behind this thing. But the point of light is reflection, refraction, okay? Light will be bouncing off the water too. And as such, it'll be hitting back this way after the light does what it does, okay? So you can kind of get a good idea of making a cylinder right now there. We'll maybe close in here. We're about 13 minutes, so I want to make sure I'm checking my time. If these videos go on too long, people start to lose patience with it. So we're just being mindful of the time and checking that. Shut up, F.A. Just paint. Damn it. Paint. Paint. Oh boy, what was I looking for? Okay, so I think I want to do a little bit of gold hue, which to start my gold, just to let you know, when I do gold, you can start with a little raw sienna if you want, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I actually have actual gold paint. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here with some acrylics. It's just some yellow ochre, and then I'll darken it with some shadows. But this is gonna be sort of a golden railway here that I think will stand out better if we use these colors. So I'm just going to lay that in there, and lie, because I'm using a little, it's not full oil painting. Okay? You bastard! You are not using no oils. No, well, you know what? Sometimes I need time, and acrylics buys me a little time. Okay? And it's not the lazy man of painting. It's paint smart, not hard. Why make your life harder than it needs to be? Now, I kind of broken away from a lot of the other techniques that I think we've become accustomed to. Put a little gold ochre, or now that'll dry here in a second. I'll just talk for a moment. I'm gonna blend in here while while I have a little bit of that color still on here to give it a little bit nicer tone right here. I'm gonna shadow it in a little bit more here. But you know, when I say paint smart, not hard, yeah, there's different techniques that artists use, and one of the more controversial ones is where people project an image onto a canvas or paper or whatever, draw out. That's a tool. It's true. It's a time-saving tool. Some artists don't like that because they're saying, well, you just cheated yourself out of doing all the work yourself. And I don't know how I feel about that. If I were going to start portraiture, which I don't do portraiture, but eventually I'd like to, I think I'd rather practice drawing first and just use the projection in an honest way and just say on the painting I used a projector to get the image proportional and true to its form, because faces and bodies and things like that can be real tricky compared to these type of still life type objects because of the contours of light and proportionality. So it's not just how the light bounces off the face, the body, and so on. It's this idea of the symmetry and non-symmetry, because no body, I think, is 100% perfect. No face is 100% perfect. But really, the one of the most symmetrical things that we will ever see is the face, the human form. That's why Da Vinci was so, I think, fascinated to a point of obsession, in a good way, the human form. And my theory about Mona Lisa is that he found someone that looked a little bit like his face. People like, just seriously, now shut up, F.A. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's just my theory. I'm an artist. I'm allowed to have an artist's perspective. But he found someone that kind of looks like his own face a little bit. And he was fascinated by this woman. And maybe he was a little vain. And said, I would really like to paint you. And you're beautiful. And he really wooed her in a sense. When I say woo, he impressed her in so many ways with his art. He was an impressive person. People knew who he was. And she said, you absolutely paint me. He didn't paint that many paintings, Da Vinci. No. He had a lot of drawings and inventions, sculptures. He had a very full life. Very, very full life. And an exceptional Renaissance man he was. Okay, so I just kind of laid in this not quite perfect yet, this railing scaffolding, which I'm going to continue to work on to make it more symmetrical, and I will work it, and I will work it until it works. Which requires me looking back, standing up, looking back, standing up, looking back. I can tell where it's not even. Always step back from your painting. And these things, I think, would be even. I don't think it'd be terribly warped over time. It is metal. Wood warps more. We'd expect to see more imperfection in wood. But metal tends to keep its shape. The undershadow. You can see a little bit of the cylinder below, or between the pieces of the scaffolding, and it's a lot closer now. I'll work it a little bit more. And so as I, close this down, I just kind of point out what I'm doing here is creating a lighthouse that I feel would fit this medieval city. I'll work it some more. This is very basic to me, just like the other structure I've been working on today. It's not fully touched up. It's not where I'm satisfied with it. I'll probably spend the next few days on this part, the church, the little, I don't know, I want to call it the loading bay to this probably storage warehouse, old warehouse. But I'll work each element here. Each element, when I say like a character, a piece of the painting, and it's to refine it. And that's one thing with oil paint. I love oil paint. I blogged about it on the Art of F.A. Chekki Original Art, my blog. Talk about the advantages of oils. They allow for so much flow. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Some people say, yeah, I'll use them where appropriate. or no, I'll use them only sparingly because they are expensive, or I don't like the fumes. Well, the fumes are honestly one of the things I don't have my kids around doing this very often. And I ventilate very well with my window here, and I don't like them around. I keep everything closed, keep everything out of their reach. This office is locked. It's aired out, ventilated properly. But I think the most important thing is safety with your kids, especially painting. I don't let my kids paint with it. It's a decision they'll make one day, I suppose, if they want to. But yeah, I don't encourage them to want to paint with oils because I don't know what it'll do to their lungs. But either way, it'll be their decision. I mean, it's kind of scary. I don't know what killed Bob Ross. I freak out a little bit sometimes thinking about, oh shoot, did he get lung cancer from the oil paints? Scary. Well, everything's a risk in life if you think about it. You're not going to live forever. Better to have done what you loved in life, but I wouldn't smoke cigarettes. Not again. Kids, never smoke cigarettes. Bad for you. But that'll probably accelerate your chances of getting lung cancer way more than oil painting. The oil paints we use today are not as bad as the ones that we used to use long ago. They have improved them in a sense. No, they haven't. Everything will kill you. Life is a terminal condition, as they say. My friends, life is a terminal condition. Live hard, paint hard, play hard. Be the artist you're meant to be and enjoy it. You know, just this little time here doing this with y'all. I really enjoy doing the lighthouse. It was fun. And I want you guys to have fun. And that's what it's all about. Until next time, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you would to my channel. And check out my Facebook page, or you know, if you want to go to Instagram, whatever. My Facebook page has a lot on there. And I will see you later.